guys, what's up? You're watching the EJ Tech Show. I'm Sahil, this is Soham, and in this episode we've got the new Oppo Watch in the house, or more specifically on my wrist. And this one runs on Google's Wear OS, a name I'm sure you haven't heard in a while, but we'll talk about that later. But first, let's call a spade a spade. The Oppo Watch looks nearly identical to the Apple Watch, the one that he's wearing on his wrist.
You sure?
Yeah. It looks nearly identical. Everything from the watch face to the strap, even the name, Oppo Watch, Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So you know where the inspiration is coming from, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because when a watch looks this good, who cares if it looks like an Apple Watch?
Well, Apple Watch isn't known for its design. That's not the greatest highlight people like the Apple Watch for, and that's the sort of criticism the Oppo Watch has also gotten, that if they had to copy a design, why was it Apple's? But then again, they have made a few changes of their own to it and made it a little bit better. In fact, I do prefer the screen on the Oppo Watch than to the Apple Watch. They do look quite similar, but once you really take a better look at it, more than just a glance, you can see that it's its own watch. It's not just a copycat.
Now, I've always felt, and we've spoken about this in the past as well, I've always felt that a watch should be circular in nature. Now, you can call me old-fashioned, you can call me a traditionalist.
Yeah, old-fashioned.
But I like my timepiece to be round. And I know that Apple, over the years, has made the square-shaped form factor very famous. And keeping that in mind, I will say that the Oppo Watch is the best-looking, non-circular, non-Apple Watch I've seen to date.
Okay, so for everyone who holds this traditionalist argument, this, I've always wanted clocks to be round, I can't see them in a square. See, this is no longer a watch. This, what you wear on your wrist, is another smartphone. In a manner of speaking, it's a smartphone. In a smartphone, the best way to display a screen is always square, always rectangular. So it stands to reason why Google Wear OS looks so nice on this is because it's a square screen for the first time, instead of your circular screen, which has some parts cut out, and then they have to modify the keyboard accordingly. And there's real estate lost in a circular form factor.
Fair enough. It doesn't matter. I mean, square watch, like I said, Apple's made it really famous, and it works really well over here. I love the curved edges, right? I love the aluminium frame. You've got ceramic on the back. You've also got a heart rate monitor on the back. And that rubber strap, that feels really comfortable on the wrist. And for the watch itself, it doesn't feel overly heavy, but it also doesn't feel as if you're wearing a toy on your wrist. So the weight distribution is really nicely executed over here.
So design-wise, I think Oppo has really upped their game in the past few years anyway. We even said that with phones like the Oppo Find X2 Pro. This genuinely looks like an Oppo Find X2 Pro. It's just been squeezed down into the small form factor and just put on your wrist. And it really looks so cool to me.
And if you like your curved edges, or if you like a curved screen on a smartphone, you like it over here as well, because it blends seamlessly into all four sides. So it does look really nice. But also the Oppo Watch comes in two variants. It comes in a 41mm variant, and it also comes in a 46mm variant, which is the one that I've got over here. And if you have somewhat of a big wrist like mine, so I would suggest that you go for this one and not the 41mm one. Now, on top of that, it's also got 5 ATM water resistance, which means it can survive pressures of up to 50 meters underwater. But as usual, this is not applicable to salt water, so try not jumping into the sea or the ocean while wearing this, because it probably won't survive that. But yeah, underwater, it is swim-proof. That's a very good thing. Now, I'll say there's one important missing feature from here, both in terms of design and functionality, and that is the rotating bezel. And considering that Oppo has heavily borrowed from the Apple Watch, this was a feature I was expecting to see over here.
That was one thing you should have.
But instead you get two side buttons over here, and only one of them is programmable with a shortcut.
Yeah, that's not great. Honestly, we would have liked to see something better, but then again, I can understand why they've cut down on that, because they've gone for the curved edges. So to increase screen real estate, then you can't really put a rotating bezel or a rotating.
Oppo did have to give this watch some of its own personality, otherwise people would just outright call it an Apple Watch. So those things do make sense, but I think a rotating crown would have been just one of the best things you can give to a smartwatch.
Or some sort of other programmable button that could be used to navigate the screen a little more easily.
Yeah, exactly. Now, apart from those curved edges, you're getting a beautiful 1.91-inch AMOLED display, which is very crisp, and it also gets a 326 pixel per inch resolution, which is pretty high for a smartwatch. Also, it gets really bright, so you're not going to have any trouble using it under direct sunlight. Plus, you can also choose different brightness levels from the settings. And I will say that there is one big advantage of having a square display over a circular one, and you did mention it briefly, that you do get to see a lot more content on the sides, and also typing messages is much more easier on this than it is to say, let's say, on a Galaxy Watch, which can be a real struggle at times.
Now, another advantage that this has over, let's say, a cheaper Apple Watch, for instance, if you're scrolling the internet for a cheaper Apple Watch and you see the Apple Watch Series 3 and you see, okay, it's got a fair enough discount on it, it's around 25,000-30,000 rupees, why not buy it? Well, this still has some advantages. For example, it has an always-on display. That's something you will not get on old generation
that took Apple
Watch.
5 generations to figure out.
Exactly. But either way, the always-on display is something that's really important because you can always see the time without always having to have the display on, which automatically lends itself to battery life. It increases the battery life because it's not always turning on the display just to show you the time, which is a good feature in my opinion.
Okay, so talking about battery life, by the way, this gets a 430 mAh battery, which is actually pretty big for a smartwatch, but it doesn't deliver you the best battery backup. It's average at best. So this is a watch that will require a lot of juice, and you will find yourself topping it up every night before you hit the bed.
Which I think is all right because you take a look at the display, you see how bright it is, how crisp it is. Obviously, you're going to need a good amount of juice to run that, and all the heart rate sensors and all that stuff. But then again, it does get, like a lot of other Oppo products, it gets super whoop charging. So it'll charge up from 0 to about 50% in somewhere around 15 minutes, and a full charge will take somewhere around 75 minutes. So that's not a bad deal at all.
Plus, you can also use it on the power save mode, but then with that, you do tend to lose out on a lot of functionalities, and it didn't really make that much of a difference. But like you said, the super whoop technology does really come handy over here.
So one thing you need to remember with the Oppo Watch, it's not like one of your Samsung Galaxy watches where it's a wireless charging pad at the back. So you can't wireless charge this. You need the specific proprietary charger anytime you need to charge this. And that's not a great thing. But then again, at the price point that it's being offered, I think that's a compromise that Oppo had to make. And I don't blame them for it.
Okay, now let's talk about the processor. This watch packs in a Snapdragon 3100 processor, which is about 2 years old. So I think Oppo has clearly cut some corners over here. But despite that, you're getting very snappy performance, and that's mostly due to the fact that this also packs in 1 GB of RAM. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot in smartphone language, but in a smartwatch, that's a pretty decent number.
To put it into perspective, 10 years ago, I bought a big, nice HP computer, top of the line, best specs ever, and it had 1 GB RAM, and it was revolutionary. And to think that 10 years later, it's now getting bundled in a smartwatch, it's a kick in the nuts, but still, nevertheless, 1 GB RAM is more than enough to get this machine to be really snappy with Google Wear OS.
Now, I'm glad you said Google Wear OS because that's what this smartwatch runs on. And honestly, I haven't used a watch that runs on Wear OS for a long time, so this was a nice refresher for me. But that being said, Google really hasn't upgraded Wear OS in a long time, so I was expecting a familiar experience over here, but that wasn't the case. And that's because Oppo has actually slapped on their own custom color OS on this. And honestly, it is really, really nice. I like the custom app drawer, I like the preloaded health app features, and the user interface, it feels really smooth, really responsive. It responds to all your inputs and touches really well. So I think Oppo's done a very good job of integrating Wear OS with the smartwatch.
So there's another advantage with Google Wear OS, and which is you get a whole wide variety of apps. Now, a problem that people usually have with Samsung Galaxy watches in the Tizen App Store is that there's a lot of apps that still don't have support on the smartwatches, but this being Google Play Store and Google Wear OS, you have access to pretty much all apps, any app you want to pair with your smartphone, you've got it.
Plus, you've got this really cool feature over here called AI Outfit Generator, where you basically click a picture and then the AI basically gives you different watch face options according to the outfit that you're wearing. It is gimmicky, and a lot of the times it doesn't work right, but you can't deny that it's a very cool and out-of-the-box idea.
I know, it selected this really nice pink and purple motif for you.
It's
matches perfectly with you.
Yeah, so it does. If you're into your fashion, if you're someone who wants to go out a lot and you're into all that, then this is.
And
a
to be
cool
fair,
feature to have.
smartwatches are a proper accessory. Just like any other watches, they're not just a timepiece. They're also there to add to your outfit. And for people that do enjoy doing that, that's a nice nifty feature.
Now, the Oppo Watch works with the Google Wear Companion app, so you do need to download that. And it does give you options for customization, but it doesn't really give you a complete breakdown of all your health statistics. For that, you need to download Oppo's Hey Tap Health app, which can get a little bit confusing because then you're using two apps for different things. But once you get used to it, the Hate app, Health app is actually really good. It gives you a full breakdown, complete picture of all your health statistics, of all your fitness goals, and it also gives you your sleep pattern tracking as well, so which is really, really good to have.
So I think that's okay. And to be fair, I'm glad that even if it's two apps that you have to separately download and use, it's good that Oppo's allowing you to use whatever phone you want with it. They're not locking you into an Oppo ecosystem and saying,
you can use it with Android or iPhone.
Exactly. No matter what phone you have, you can use this watch with it. No problems whatsoever.
Yeah, I've been using it with the Samsung Note 20 Ultra, but you can also use it with the Find X2 Pro. You can use it with the OnePlus 8 Pro. It works with everything. So that's obviously one advantage that this watch has over the Apple Watch, which only works with an iPhone.
Yeah.
And as for the watch itself, it does pack in a lot of fitness features. You've got a reliable heart rate monitor. You've got GPS for tracking your runs and cycling. And you, like I said, you also get sleep tracking as well, which doesn't give you the most comprehensive results, but at least it's there.
And also you need to take into account the battery. The battery life is not going to be strong enough to be able to let you work it through the entire day and then through 8 hours of sleep and then wake up and then charge it. That's probably going to be a little bit of a problem.
And it also offers you a lot of exercises, so you can choose whatever you want. Plus you get Google Fit, which means you get access to over 90 exercises at your fingertips. So the Oppo Watch makes for a really good workout companion.
That's 90 more than I can do.
Yeah. Me too. All right. Okay, now the all-important question, should you buy the Oppo Watch or not? Now the 41mm variant costs 14,990 rupees and the 46mm variant costs 19,990 rupees. So both smartwatches are under 20,000 rupees. And there are a lot of other watches out there that do use Google Wear OS, but none of them offer you the seamless experience that Oppo Watch is offering you. You're getting a great software experience, you're getting a great display, a great design, and you're getting really good fitness features. Now, yes, it is a first generation product, and no first generation product is perfect, but I think Oppo with the Oppo Watch comes really close.
So that was our review of the Oppo Watch.
No, Oppo Watch, yeah.
Yeah, they look similar, but
it's easy to get fooled, but now this is the Oppo Watch.
Yeah, so if you liked our review about it, do give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as always, stay tuned to Editor G.